Paroon and Stephanie here from Passageways. We are excited to be together, here for presenting on this exciting topic. So we have most of the people who registered already in. This is going to be, more of a show and tell than anything else. We're going to talk about three main things today, and the topic being intranets and productivity apps. Today we're going to talk about how using OnSemble as the platform for your collaboration, for your employee collaboration, you could now get into the exciting new world of co-authoring Office documents. A lot of you guys might already be using some of this, so in part we're going to try and see where you are on this, and we're going to show you how OnSemble can get you there. We'll also talk about using Office 365 in general, and then finally we're going to wrap up today with talking more about a new set of exciting functionality that's built and now available to all OnSemble customers as part of our OnSemble Analytics tool. Okay, so like I said, we will be co-piloting this today. So I have Stephanie Scott. She is Vice President of Customer Experience. So all our almost 500 customers, they are actually really rolling up under Stephanie's team. She oversees all the OnSemble implementations, in addition to also overseeing our onboard and on-track products as well. And then of course myself, I have been doing this for a few years. Some of you guys have had a chance to work with us. So before we get started, here's a fun fact I'd like to share with you guys. This is way back 2002 or 2001, I guess. This is from Purdue University, Krannert. Krannert is the business school there. The fun fact is that both Stephanie and I were at Krannert at exactly the same time. She was doing her undergrad, and I was doing my MBA. Of course, we never ran into each other, but we did know one person in common, and that would be another person who was attending school at Purdue, and that is Drew Brees. Some of you guys might remember back in 2002, I believe, or 2001, I think we made it to the Rose Bowl, and that was a fun time when Drew Brees was our quarterback, and he used to be in the exact same lab as me and Stephanie, and I have to say none of us knew each other at that time. That's a little fun fact from back then. Okay, so let's get to what we're going to actually discuss today. So OnSemble, some of you guys are existing customers using OnSemble for a while, and others are exploring and looking at whether this could be the collaboration platform for your organization. So I should say there is more to this product than most of what you guys already use or you've seen in a sales presentation. There's some new stuff that we're going to show you today. OnSemble has in the past decade become the most trusted employee intranet offering in the industry, and we are extremely proud of the fact that not only have we worked with nearly 250 organizations, but we have a staff here which has been there for such a long time. Stephanie has been with Passageways for over 8 years, and who's the product manager of OnSemble. She's been with us for over 10 years, and then certainly of course there's a whole lot of others who've been involved. So these are a lot of years of experience that has gone into not only continuing to evolve this product line, but also really kind of work with organizations to really kind of just fit this technology around your needs. So certainly we've been around for a while, 12 years in business, won several awards, and we are based out of Lafayette, Indiana, certainly right next to Purdue University here in town, and predominantly our business has been working with financial institutions and working with organizations around their collaboration needs. So OnSemble is more about working, making sure that employee collaboration is as fluid as possible. And then our other products, certainly Onboard, is regarding board collaboration, and some of you guys might know that. And we are also proud of the fact that we are, I say endorsed, but it's really, just the preferred provider, both for a Credit Union National Association as well as Independent Community Bankers of America. In fact, we might be the only provider in the industry that is actually a preferred service provider for both these organizations at the same time. Not 100% sure about that, but it'll be a very small list anyway. So let's get into why we do what we do. So so OnSemble, this is a vast product line. Certainly, we've seen this evolve over the years. Our goal remains to make employee collaboration as easy as it possibly can get. And easy is a relative term. I certainly feel that organizations today are looking for the tools that can help you do some fun stuff and really kind of just get ideas and processes and and people on the same page and get everything moving. But certainly what we've realized, there are 4 main themes over the years that actually really have become an important reason why you guys buy this technology. And these themes are, these are often the most important reasons why you have invested in the portal technology. Sometimes there are some other reasons that show up as well. And these are, organization culture and making sure that you have an intranet that actually reflects that and enhances that. If you're looking for growth and you need a platform that gets people, moving in the same direction, certainly that's a great reason to be looking at intranet technology. And then efficiency gains across different processes. And finally, services orientation, getting the right information into your, staff's hands. So they could be, whether they're a teller or a branch manager, they could be most effective. Those are the 4 main reasons, and Steph's going to talk about that, further. So what we've seen is every organization has, different needs. In fact, these needs evolve over the years. And what we've done is we've actually worked with those over the years to get to the point where we've become an expert in looking at, where you are and, listening for where you want to be and then fitting this technology set. Like I said, it's more than 50 different applications towards your future, aspirational directions. So we're going to talk about this a little bit. So as we do that, I'm going to talk about the reasons for some of the new product introductions that we've made here. And these are important to understand. These are fairly simple. You guys already see this. The fact is that these are the Uber trends that that all of us feel. We've heard this from you guys. We certainly see this in in the industry. The first big one is that everybody wants technology to really work in real time, and across different mobile environments as well. And our OnSemble product line is fast evolving in that direction, and we're going to show you that today. Secondly, we've also seen that while on the topic of collaboration, what you have is you certainly have the ability to, documents end up being, one of the most important elements of collaboration in any organization. And co-authoring, whether you've used Office 365 or you've used, Google Docs, that was a part of, part of technology landscape that we had not actually really embraced just yet. So we're going to show you how we can enable you on that in that direction as well. And lastly, we're going to talk about, having insights to make changes in your portal implementation. And there's a new set of functionality that we're going to, showcase to help you not only, imagine the intranet or the portal that you've always thought of, but also see if you're landing where you need it to be or what kind of changes you can make. So with that, I'm going to actually really first talk about, the fact that, if there's a quick little survey, if we can actually really do before I get into documents. Stephanie, can you help us, launch the survey at this time?
Absolutely. If you guys can take a look, the first question we just want to understand to get things started is, are you currently in the Passageways family? So if you can let us know really quick if you're already a member of the family or not yet, that would be great as we take a look at some questions related to documents that will certainly help us understand where everything comes from. And it looks like most of you have voted. I'm going to give you another quick second here, and then I'm going to go ahead and close everything out. Perfect. All right. And at this point in time, as far as the folks that are in the session with us today, 56% of you are not yet part of the family. So hopefully we look forward to welcoming you in pretty soon and joining the rest of the folks who are already part of the family. I'm going to go ahead and hide this out. Paroon, we can go ahead and pick things back up from where we left off.
Okay. So I'm going to actually switch back into, my slide deck here and talk about, why we actually really, had to work with documents in a entirely new way. So there are several ways to deal with documents and really kind of just, do that. So what we are seeing here today is we're going to talk about 3 different ways of working with documents, whether these are Excel files or PowerPoint and all the different kind of files that you use. And, we certainly had 2 important and distinct ways of working with documents, just using your documents on your network being the primary way. So you could just hook up your OnSemble portal to your shared drive and, just accessing documents and basically, getting to use documents, with, just the way you normally use it. It's just the portal was just a way to get to your shared drive. And you were able to isolate different folders and make the permissions really kind of come true for you through the portal. The second an important addition to that happened a few years back, where we gave you a more enhanced document management system that was native to OnSemble. This is our database documents setup, and this allowed you to do of course permissioning just the way you'd want it, as well as gave you versioning of documents as well. These documents would live in the portal server and not on the shared drive. And now we are talking about, giving you access to, another document management system using SharePoint. And this is an interesting one for us because we have, worked with Microsoft to figure out a great way for you guys to not be left out on all the advances that are being made on document management itself. So Microsoft has, SharePoint Foundation as a set of technology that's available, and leveraging that, we can now give you an interesting way to really get to documents that might be sitting on your network, and we'll help you get there, and also be able to leverage all the things that come with the, the SharePoint document management. So you don't have to be utilizing SharePoint to take advantage of the document management, power that comes with SharePoint. Uniquely, Passageways has built a lot of business applications over the years that fit the needs of a bank or a credit union, and those, will always be available through OnSemble. Now, in addition to that, sort of the main reason why people looked at SharePoint, you can actually leverage that right from OnSemble. So we've, given you a great way to stay with OnSemble and all the applications like expense reporting and lobby management and learning management, and use all of those while you can also access document management just the way Microsoft is actually really kind of advancing those. With that, before I do that, I want to actually really quickly have a second survey question be shared with you guys.
Yeah, so as we talk about documents and taking a look at some of the options available related to your intranet or what OnSemble provides, help us understand currently what version of Office you're on today, or if you're not using Office. And certainly as you're plugging in that information, just a quick side note for you, any comments or questions that you have as we go through this session today, we do encourage you to ask those questions or raise your hand so we can come back and give you the microphone and you can pose that question yourself. Feel free to do that in your GoToMeeting panel where you're also participating in the poll, and you can either hit the hand button and raise your hand, or go ahead and hit the question button. You can actually type in your question and we can ask that on your behalf. Okay, so we've got a lot of feedback that you're starting to provide at this point as we consider documents and the version of Office that you're using. I'm going to go ahead and close this out and just show where we are as far as the numbers, just to kind of understand. So the majority of us today are on Office 2010 or Office 2013, some a little bit earlier, and at this point in time everybody's on Office, just not on 365 as far as today.
And that is very interesting. Certainly, I'm certain that there's a conversation going on within the organization regarding Office 365, and we'd like to know more about that. Could we go ahead and have another question be shared right away?
Yeah, so as we take a look, especially considering the fact that right now no one is on Office 365, and some of you are on earlier version 2007 or earlier, help us understand if you have plans at this point in time, or if you're in discussions to move to a new version of Office or not. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and close this one out here as well, and we'll share that. Very interesting to see that the majority of you have plans to move to a new version of Office as well. So that's certainly good to see.
Good. So there's a 25% population which is actually really saying that they don't plan to, move to Office, next version of Office, which is interesting. In part, I think, that might be, an interesting trend to pick up on. So let's look at the next question here real quick. So the next one is actually about using SharePoint to manage documents. We understand a lot of organizations have, OnSemble as their portal that they use for, collaboration, but there certainly might be a chance that you have some department or some team in your organization that could be utilizing SharePoint just for document management. It might not be an enterprise-wide kind of an implementation. It might be just, a trial that might be going on, or you might. So we'd like to know more about that. Mm-hmm. And certainly this doesn't have to be everybody using it. And again, we are interested to know this because for the longest time we've actually really kind of just looked at the advances, and at this point we are embracing all of that. We're going to give you a way to work with that technology. So this would be interesting to find out. Let's see what we have.
Most of you are saying no, some are not sure. It's interesting, we actually have an event taking place at our headquarters right at this time, and several folks in the Passageways family are here for our university session, and we've had some good conversations about what the power of Microsoft document management is really kind of moving toward, and we've even had some folks find out while they were here that certain members of their team are actually using that collaboration through SharePoint. So we may be able to go back and share some of that detail with some of you, especially if you're not sure. We can help you figure out whether that is or is not the case.
Okay. All right. So, that's interesting. Certainly, good information to keep in mind. Most of you guys are thinking about the next version. Very few of you are using SharePoint currently. And, so it doesn't have to be that way. And, we might actually really give you, not exactly SharePoint. We might give you a reason to utilize the collaborative document advances that Microsoft has made using SharePoint Foundation. And SharePoint Foundation is, interestingly, it's free technology that Microsoft provides that allows you to leverage, I believe, single-handedly the #1 reason why organizations get tempted to work with SharePoint technology. Okay. While we do that, OneDrive is another set of technology to keep in mind. OneDrive allows you to, if your documents live in SharePoint and you use Office 365 document management, then you have a way to get to your documents from any mobile device using OneDrive. OneDrive is a free app that Microsoft provides, and that's also interesting to keep that in mind. So here's what we are talking about. We are talking about utilizing technologies that Microsoft provides. We're not asking you to go spend, the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 that it takes to build a SharePoint project. We're asking you to look at some, technologies that they have built just for portal vendors like us. So there's a foundation server that Microsoft provides, and if you have SharePoint 2010, there's a SharePoint Portal Foundation 2010 server that's also available. And, so we certainly actually really, we are talking about, finding the right set of technologies, working with our team to really make sure you get there. So we'll do the heavy lifting here to get you ready for this. But then thereafter, you also need what is called the Office web apps which is another layer that Microsoft provides, and the Office Web Apps layer also has, a 2010 version, and the exact same thing for 2013 as well. So if you're using SharePoint 2013, then there is Office Web Apps for 2013. Office Web Apps is required mainly if you utilize Excel and co-authoring abilities within Excel. You don't need Office Web Apps. Again, it's a free layer that's available. Excuse me, it's a paid version product, but it's needed only if you want to leverage co-authoring in Excel. For Word and PowerPoint, you don't need Office Web Apps. Now, when you combine these two technologies and apply that to the portal layer that we provide as part of OnSemble, what you'll then get is a portal that will help you get to documents just the way you like. In addition to that, giving you all the things that you've always liked from us, which is the other modules that we provide. Let's see how all of this works. Okay, I'm going to switch to a browser here and a portal that we've set up here. So once we are all looking at the screen, I'm going to actually show you what we have here. So we've set up a quick little portal here. So even before I start, I want to actually really say this is how it's going to come together. Under Portal Tools, and I'm not going to do a deep dive into this, but I'll give you a quick glimpse of what we are talking about. Under Portal Tools, you have Manage Portal Documents, and then under that you have Manage Folders. In the past, you had two distinct options that you were able to see, that you were able to actually really work with. So now, in addition to those two options, you have three distinct options available to you. So these are the three options that you have. You have Connect for database documents. That's the native document management system that we offer. Connect for network drive. This actually really builds the bridge between the portal and your shared drive. And then now we've dropped in another one, which is basically the SharePoint folder. So this is a SharePoint site running in the background. Your IT team will work with us to really get you there. But this is what it'll provide you. Once you are set up for this, you will be able to use the portal. This is a general portal page, utilizing some of the new things that we've made available using OnSemble, and lots of great different pieces that we built. But here, if I click on the human resource section, what I'll see is an HR page. And then there's a documents page and if I go to the documents page, what you're seeing here is a list of documents. And these documents that you see right here, these documents are actually really coming from a SharePoint site. So we are utilizing the third option that I showed you there. So when I go in here and I look at, for example, the new hire task flow, this will allow me to actually really get to that document that could be living inside your SharePoint site. And now you're utilizing Excel Online to get there. Now, the beauty of this is if I have another one of my coworkers join into the same spreadsheet, and I have Jared here, trying to get to the same document. If he jumps in, what you will notice is this document is actually really just going to be prompting me to tell me that there's somebody else also looking at this. So I'm going to go in there, and what you see here is there are two people who are currently looking at this, Anne and Jared, who are also in this document. Now what I have is I have the ability to really kind of just go and edit this whichever way I like. And this is great because you are, this is auto save. It doesn't need to be, you don't have to hit save and all that. You can see where others are. You are co-authoring this document. And, when you do this, if I actually really kind of just, type something in here, you'll see that there could be somebody else who could actually be going right in there, right next to, what I've done and be typing in. And you can see that Jared just came in exactly into that document, and you have all of this available, and you don't even have to actually really worry about any of the other things that you typically have to sometimes you're actually really in read only and all of those formats. Those are all history at this point. So that's great. Now I'm going to actually really go back into this document folder page, and this time show you how this works in a Word document. Remember, for Word document, you don't even need, some of what I actually really showed you in the earlier slide. You don't need the web app, the name is Office Web Apps, 2010, 2013, whatever version you need. For Word and for PowerPoint, you already are set just with the Foundation server itself. So here again, same idea. I can go in there. I could be editing this. Now, I could be editing this in the online version of it, which is the Office 365 version of it. But if you don't want to use that and you want to use everything on your network, you have the ability to do that using the other, which is basically the Excel version or the Word version or the PowerPoint version that you have running on your networks. Okay, so you have the on-prem or the online. Both of those options are available through the same technology. We actually really checked every one of those options for you. Again, same idea. I could be going in and making these changes, and as I'm making these changes, I can actually really go back to my portal. And the fun part about this is all these documents, as you're editing, they're actually really getting updated and they're always available. And what you'll see is, there are other people who are actually really, doing the same. I could be editing this in Word or in Word online format, and all of that is available to you guys. Now, one other quick little thing, while you could do all of this, you could access those two documents that we pulled up and we worked with using OneDrive on your phone. And that is an awesome option as well. In fact, literally, you could actually really be editing a document using your phone if you have one of those crazy big phones like some of us do. Or you could also actually be using any of the tablets for doing the exact same thing while you're on the go. One last piece, the search option that you see in the portal, that also allows you to search all the three document section that we talk about. It allows you to actually really kind of search across the three document management variations that we are providing you today. So that's a brief overview of what you can now do using the technology that we've built. Again, to summarize, what you have is you already have OnSemble running on your network, or you're looking at it anyway. If you work with our team, we will actually really get you to the point where you can now install other Microsoft technologies to get you to actually really be doing what we just saw here. Co-authoring, access to these documents through Office 365 or on the network itself, getting access to all those documents through your mobile phones and such. Now, if there is any expense involved in this, it's basically more about, you might actually need to buy a component from Microsoft, like I mentioned, which is basically the Office web apps. SharePoint Foundation is available. That's free, and we'll help you with the installation of all of that. And then the connector that we've just built called Connect for SharePoint, that might be the other expense that's involved in this. And we'd love to actually really kind of hear from you guys on what you guys think about this. If there's a trial to be set up, we can actually really work through that as well. Okay. So that's the main piece of what I wanted to cover today. At this point, what I want to do is I want to actually really kind of just talk about the next part of it, and I'm going to actually really hand off to Stephanie.
Yeah, thanks, Paroon. So certainly it's really exciting to see the progress that we're making around different integration points and connections to other tools so that you can really get to effective collaboration within your organization. The next stage that we want to talk about here is really about taking a deeper dive into understanding what you're doing with your system today, so that you can really focus on the things that are going to provide you the greatest return moving forward. Certainly the various connection points as we take a look at the collaboration and tracking on your goals are critical, but the other thing that we need to keep in mind is keeping a close eye on what we've accomplished and really driving toward goals that we want to hit moving forward, is a constant iterative approach. And right now I know that one of the big talking points that everybody's probably kind of, hit the wall with is big data. I mean, it's everywhere. I know you guys are probably hearing that and have been talking about that in your organizations for the past couple of years. It's happening across all sorts of industries, and, certainly your solution doesn't really escape that. But our focus at this point in time is not so much around big data, but more so the small data or the relevant data that will allow you to do something meaningful in your organization. You can kind of see some notes here. We're moving away from some of the high-level trends and focusing a little bit more about the people aspect and understanding the true value that these types of systems and this type of collaboration offers to your organization, and allowing and enabling your people to make the difference that they need to make so that you can move forward. What we have implemented here with OnSemble that we're really excited for is a new tool that allows you to dig in and better analyze the data that you have within your system, and making that more accessible for you at your fingertips. Certainly some of the things that we take a look at here is the ability to access that without any kind of development expertise required. These tools were designed to basically allow IT to continue to focus on IT and allow your administrators within your portal to get the data necessary without any needed intervention. So we don't have to, dig into the server. These tools don't require any development expertise or any kind of SQL query expertise. It just basically is going to be an additional report pack available to you. What's interesting around this component is not only do you get the reports that pull real data from your server, but also it gives you the ability to export those out to Excel so that you can take that data and further manipulate it or review and analyze that data in various ways to understand the impact to your business, as well as the impact to your overall portal success. Certainly you can manage the access to all of those different tools consistent with the rest of your roles in the portal. So we're going to make this very, very easy for you to ultimately understand the data and the various points of data that illustrate the impact of your solution. Take that information so that you can set goals that ultimately help you drive the traffic and the focus that will be most relevant to your organization. And then from there, you can continue to iterate around that process so that your portal ultimately does not become stale and can continue to reflect the goals and the metrics that your organization is focused on today versus what you were doing in the past. One of the things that we've really done here on our end and look forward to continuing with groups in the family is really looking at a systematic way to approach this analysis that does not stop and really becomes part of an overall mode of continued success. You can then run these reports and share that data internally on a regular basis, whether that's monthly, quarterly, or annually. What's beneficial here is that you don't have to be held hostage again to accessing it just on that frequency. You can get to it at any time for any type of analysis that's necessary. So what we're going to do is actually dig in a little bit. I'm going to show you what some of these reports look like. Just to give you some kind of analysis, the early feedback that we've had has been really exciting, especially around things specific to documents. So kind of continuing on the trend that we've looked at so far. Give me just a moment here. I'm going to kind of flip some things around, and I'm going to show my screen. So at this point in time, when we take a look, again, at your solution, and we're in the same kind of implementation that we were at before, what I'm going to focus on here is specifically in this reporting section, this OnSemble Analytics tool. When we take a look at the reports, the options that are available here kind of cover a high-level gamut. This is our initial start of some of the basic analytics that you will be able to leverage to understand, again, the effectiveness of your current implementation or drive it in the direction that you want to go. One of the things that's really exciting to see is, especially as we talk about documents and providers earlier, is this duplicate document name. One of the things that we hear frequently from different organizations is that document integrity is a challenge, and being able to prevent the same document from being added to multiple locations at the same time can cause a significant challenge inside your organization. Sorry, let me flip this over. There we go. And one of the things that can be very difficult is locating where duplicate documents may be residing inside your organization. This will allow you to really dig in and find out where those documents are, what is the respective path for them, so that you can then further dig in and make sure that you can clean up those documents from a compliance perspective, have the ability to go back and illustrate that you have all employees accessing the same documents in the same location. And those could be things along the lines of policies, they could be around procedures, corporate or departmental, whatever the case might be. Here we can see that there's a specific document, and when we take a look in further detail, that's going to illustrate the location of where those documents may be residing, and then you can certainly go in further and clean that up. So we've got a couple of different things available here. Again, they're all exportable which makes it even more beneficial to you because then you can track on those various reports as we continue to move forward. Okay, so there's reports again around documents. You could certainly pull things up around when documents were last modified. If you need policies, for example, or procedures to be reviewed on an annual basis, and you need to go back in and make sure that those reviews actually did take place, those policies were updated in a reflective manner, you can certainly run a report around that and determine what needs to be maintained or managed from that point moving forward. Some of the other types of data that become beneficial when you take a look at your overall implementation is really around understanding the traffic. What are the areas within your implementation that employees are leveraging? What are the pages that they're seeing? Who are your power users? What are they looking for? These are great reports that you can all run on date ranges that you customize and determine what is being leveraged in your organization. This is a great opportunity to analyze, are employees accessing the types of pages or the types of information that you want them to or that you expected that they are? If so, and you're completely on track, then certainly that's a great opportunity to take a look at what else you could do within your organization and your solution. If there's discrepancies or if there's gaps, it's a great opportunity to understand why. You know, is it just a challenge of making sure that the right data is visible and accessible easily for employees to drive the user experience so that your tool is used effectively? Are certain pages not accessed because the value that employees see is not the same as the value that you intended to deliver? And it's a great way to get that feedback and continue to make sure that the content can be leveraged by employees effectively. So there's not necessarily any specific outcome or answer that you get when you look at the data, but it certainly provides you the details necessary to dig in and find out what is working in your implementation and what is not. And for the things that are not working as you anticipated or as expected, you can then dig in, and we can certainly help you understand how we can take it to the next step to make the tool more relevant and more applicable for employees. So a lot of different tools here that are available or reports that will provide you relevant data around your implementation, again, how it's being leveraged, you know, how are your permissions established quickly at your fingertips, what are the most searched for items. Again, another very actionable item where you can come back and determine, you know what, if all employees are searching for the same thing and it's happening very frequently, it's a limited number, may be a tremendous opportunity to take that content and place it front and center or provide additional training to employees on where they can locate that type of information, decrease the number of clicks or increase their efficiency for access. So a lot of great details that are now, again, available at your fingertips without having to dig into SQL. And for those of us who aren't technical, that's a huge relief. And a great opportunity as well to better understand instantly how your solution is being leveraged. And certainly our team is very excited to help continue to drive the success of your implementation and make sure that that is aligned with your goals as the organization or at the organization level. And we're certainly excited to continue the process of the executive business reviews where we can combine the analytics here along with the goals that you have so that we can continue to make sure that this is a relevant and successful implementation that meets the needs of your organization above and beyond the basic operations from a day-to-day perspective. So one of the things, again, just going back to what we had talked about before, is having the data at your fingertips, accessing that, taking a look and analyzing that information, and then coming back and setting goals that will continue to allow you to drive future progress, and then, again, continuing to iterate on a regular basis. It doesn't stop here once you start to experience that success. It's just how we can grow that from there. So just some really exciting things that we're starting to see as we take a look at new tools or integration points in looking at your solution. But that's really our OnSemble Analytics.
Very good. Okay. So, certainly what you've seen here is, we've seen, several implementations, and, we've been doing these executive business reviews over the past, couple of years. And what you're seeing now is, the things that we used to do as part of the executive business reviews, we used to run these reports and really, get that information to you on a one-off basis. And, having done that, several times, we finally got a chance to package all the important stuff and make all that available through OnSemble Analytics. So this is an interesting, non-scalable, non-scalable review data dump that we used to actually really kind of just, be needing every time we had to do an EBR, now being packaged so that you can have access to it in real time. I certainly look forward to some of the advances that you guys will make utilizing this. Okay, so what's next, you might ask? Well, certainly here's what we'll tell you. If you are an existing Passageways customer, you should actually really get in touch with your customer success manager for both these new advances. Connect for SharePoint as well as OnSemble Analytics. Both of those are available, and they're, this is stuff that you can actually really deploy and start utilizing right now. Okay, as you go into, finalizing your plan for next year, both these could actually really be very handy. You could actually pilot this program, the Connect for OnSemble, between now and the end of the year, and make the right call, depending on whether you need to, stay with what you have and, just utilize SharePoint 2010 and use that, Connect option, or if you want to actually go all the way to Office 365 and really utilize the online version of, Word and Excel and PowerPoint. All those options are available, and you can pilot that now and the end of the year. If you are a prospect and you're working with a salesperson at Passageways, then continue to actually really go back to your business development manager and ask them about these options, and they'll guide you through the process in terms of which edition, which package these technologies are available. Certainly, we'd love to hear back from you. Our information is available. We have 3 different folks that are also made available to you in addition to the the CSM and the BDM that you're working with. That would be myself, Paroon, and that's my email address. And then Stephanie, and her email address, and then finally Anne. Anne's the one who leads OnSemble product line and from a product management standpoint. So all the fun stuff that you're seeing, this is the result of Anne actually looking at some of the requests that you guys sent us, some of the in-person interactions we've had with you at various Passageways events, at conferences, and just looking at the technology industry in general. And we'd love to hear from you guys in terms of what you think about this. I think that sort of covers most of what we had. At this point, Stephanie, do we have any other survey question?
Yeah,
I think there's a poll question, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It just helps us understand if we need to connect back with you and share more information. If you are currently using the OnSemble tool and you're interested in the Connect for SharePoint or the OnSemble Analytics, please let us know. And if you're overall looking at the OnSemble solution and considering the opportunity to join the family, and those 2 tools look interesting to you or you would like more detail there, certainly let us know, and you can select all that apply. And so we look forward to providing additional detail and responding to whatever questions you might have. At this point in time, are there any questions that any of you have regarding anything that we've shown or anything that we've talked about today? We would certainly be happy to address any of those questions.
Yeah, you can, maybe close out the poll as soon as we have some people answering this, and we have some people actually really showing. So go ahead and, cast in your vote there real quick, whether it's, any one of the 3 options. We have some of you guys already done that, so that's good.
Yep.
All right, so, with that, we'd like to take some questions and be around. I don't know if the lines are open at this point or not. I have this one slide. I really love this slide simply because you could see that, there are people playing different roles. The guy in the front seat, the first guy, he's not even breaking a sweat here. He has no idea there are other folks behind him who are really doing most of the work. So, but the important part is you'll have all kinds of, different needs and different roles that people play in your team. The tools that we provide help you make sure everybody is actually really, rowing in the same direction and, is in sync. And, we'd love to find out what you guys think about some of the new advances that we made. So what questions do you guys have for us?
Yep, it looks like the first question here is, when is the Connect for SharePoint or the OnSemble Analytics tool available if you already have OnSemble in your organization?
So good question. This could be information that you could actually request right away. In terms of the technology itself being packaged and released, we are actually really, as we stand, these are both technologies that are available right away. So you can get them as early as we can get you on the schedule here. So please go ahead and reach back to your, I'm assuming this is a question from a customer. Reach back, to your CFM, and we'll be happy to set this up. Like I said, this is exactly how this is going to come about. OnSemble Analytics is available, just installation. We are done with it. For Connect for SharePoint, we will first have to understand whether you already have SharePoint running on your network, whether it's 2010, 2013, or Office 365, and then we'll install some of the pieces that you might not have, and that will be done by our team as part of this process, and then we'll connect you with the connector piece that we've built, and then once that's done, then you have this third option actually be available right away.
Okay. Yep. Great. Thank you. The next question that we have is, if we're not using SharePoint for document management today, can we get started with documents using other options and then move toward that down the road if that becomes, something that we want to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we don't want you to actually really walk away with the impression that you have to use SharePoint. In fact, we expect most of you guys not to use, SharePoint even in the long run. So we have two excellent options available for you guys, which were always there. So you can continue to use those. As and when you evolve in any of these directions and you'd like to actually really make, the switch to Office 365, you now have the ability to embrace all of that and not get left out, because your portal technology doesn't support it. We know that we've actually really worked closely with Microsoft. We see this as a sort of a big demand that they're seeing, and they're, every report you read, it is a big Uber trend that everybody is actually really talking about. When you'll get there, we'll already be there for you guys, and that's the great part about it. Does that answer that question?
Yep, that does. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
All right, it looks like I think we're pretty set and good to go. So again, just please feel free to reach out and let us know if you have any further questions that we need to revert back to following the webinar today. Thank you also very much for taking the time to join us. We are excited, and as far as the Drew Brees piece, maybe we say a little prayer for the Saints coming up on this weekend. How about we do that? You guys, thanks again for your time. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, and look forward to talking with all of you soon.
Thank you.